Dear listeners, today I am here to tell you about a bone-chilling incident. Without further ado, let me get straight to the point. The bloody jacket at mile 80. Around 2 in the morning, my friend Grant and I were about 6 hours into what was supposed to be a 12-hour drive from Denver to Kansas City. Neither of us had slept much, him because of work, me because I couldn't stop thinking about seeing my dad in the hospital. Grant was driving when he started drifting toward the shoulder, and I told him to pull over before he got us both killed. We'd passed the last real rest stop 40 miles back, but ahead, on the right, a small unmarked exit appeared. No sign, no lights, just an open gravel clearing among the trees. Grant pulled in near the edge, where gravel met grass. The plan was simple: sleep 2 or 3 hours, then keep going. We both got out to stretch in the cold September air. Grant walked toward the tree line while I circled the car. Our headlights cast 2 pale beams into the darkness ahead, and that was when I noticed the ground about 20 feet in front of the car, the gravel disturbed. Deep tire tracks, as if someone had peeled out at high speed, the dirt beside them piled unevenly, as if something had been dug or dragged. I called Grant over. He turned on his phone's flashlight, and the weak beam showed us more than we wanted to see. The tracks were recent, the edges still sharp, not worn by wind or rain. Whoever made them had been there within the last hour, maybe less. They turned sharply toward the tree line and vanished into the grass. Then I smelled it, faint at first, sweet and chemical, gasoline mixed with something else I couldn't name. Grant went still beside me. Neither of us said what we were both thinking. I took the phone and walked toward where the smell seemed strongest. About 10 feet from the gravel, half hidden in tall grass, I found a pair of disposable gloves. One turned inside out as if pulled off in a hurry. 5 feet farther, I found the jacket, dark, crumpled as if thrown there. I moved the light over it and my stomach turned. A large, dark, wet-looking stain covered the back, soaked through in places, with smeared drag marks leading away from it deeper into the brush. Someone had been pulled from that spot into the woods. I stood up too fast, nearly lost my balance. Hunters don't use latex gloves. Hunters don't abandon blood-soaked jackets. And those drag marks were too wide to be anything but a person. "We have to leave," I told Grant, "right now." We started back toward the car, trying not to run, every sound amplified in the dark. We were maybe 15 feet from the car when Grant grabbed my shoulder and pointed. On the far tree line, a weak yellowish light hung between the branches, a flashlight beam aimed in our direction, not moving. We froze, watching. Then it went out. 1 second there, the next gone, and the darkness that replaced it felt heavier. We ran the rest of the way to the car. My hands shook so badly I could barely buckle my seatbelt. Grant dropped the keys twice before the engine caught and we shot backward, kicking gravel. As we pulled onto the road, I turned to look through the rear window and saw a figure standing exactly where the light had been. A silhouette, dark against darkness, watching us leave. The flashlight beam that had been pointed at them from the tree line went dark the moment they noticed it. 30 miles later, we found an all-night gas station and sat in the parking lot, neither of us wanting to get out. I called 911. I told the operator about the tracks, the smell, the gloves, the bloody jacket, the drag marks. She asked our location, and I could only say somewhere between mile markers 80 and 120 going east from Denver. When she asked if we'd seen anyone, I told her about the light, the figure, and the trees. There was a pause on the line. We arrived in Kansas City around noon the next day. I spent 3 days at the hospital with my dad, jumping at every sound. On the 4th day, a detective called to say they'd located the rest area and found evidence of, in his words, a violent incident. He wouldn't give details over the phone, only asked if I'd give a formal statement when I got back to Denver. When I asked if they'd found anyone in the woods, he went quiet, then said the investigation was ongoing. The weight in his voice told me everything I needed to know. I gave my statement a week later. He confirmed they'd recovered the jacket and gloves, that the blood was human, and that they'd found other evidence deeper in the woods he couldn't discuss. There were no other witnesses, no suspects. That was 6 months ago. I still check the news sometimes. There's been nothing. Whoever was in those woods that night is still out there, and I wonder sometimes if he thinks about us too. The narrator saw a silhouette watching them from the trees, but couldn't describe any features to police. Do you believe what they found in that grass was evidence of a murder, or is there an innocent explanation they haven't considered? Not a movie, this is a true horror story told by someone who actually lived through it. This story is shared for storytelling and entertainment purposes and is presented as a real-life account reported by the original narrator. How did you like this incident? Be sure to let us know in the comments. Thank you all.